Oh no, our main character. He's fallen. I wonder if he's going to perish. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do mean to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. Any other fun fact? The discourse over the last week of Sakamoto Days, or really last chapter 219 of Sakamoto Days, has been so hilarious because the fandom is split in two there's like a third pseudo direction, but I'd say there's two main directions. There are people who are genuinely convinced that Sakamoto is actually like going to die, right? Like he's going to perish here and now. There's like no way that they could save him. He's cooked, he's done, he's finished, it's wraps, it's over. Then there's the side I happen to be on, where I'm like, the same series that wouldn't let the Antagonist take serious damage against the entire villain group is going to off its titular character. Yeah, dog, that's simply not transpiring. So ultimately, I'm more so on the latter side. There's been a third side that is heavily convinced that this is somehow Nagamo. Like Nagamo would just sit there and allow himself to get backshot. Like, why? What? Like I don't know where the Nagamo copium is coming from. Like I don't know why y'all are trying to downplay the second best fighter in the order, who was essentially the best fighter in the order when Sakamoto dies. Like what? Y'all really think Nagamo's that far? It's like that's like the third secret pseudo side that I've seen people coping for. But regardless, I just don't buy it, man. Like and it's sad, right? Because I saw a lot of people, even if they like fully on the first side I mentioned, they were like, well, there you go, bada bing, bada boom. You know, Sakamoto returning brought back stakes, and I'm like, it did the opposite for me. Because I know he's not offing his main character. Like Suzuki Sensei, amazing author, fantastic character writing, amazing action, amazing artwork. They're not booming Sakamoto. Now, of course, Sakamoto did just get back shots. So something's gonna have to happen that allows him to live this. But after the tunnel effect, after Shin surviving the 1v7 against the main villain group, after failure after failure after failure of our villain cast, I just don't buy it, man. And ultimately, I would sooner believe if it was a character like Kandaka or Boiled. I wouldn't even say Heisuke being completely. I don't see any of the Sakamoto's like main cast and crew or main Sakamoto store main cast and crew like die. That's just not happening. So ultimately, man, I assume he's gonna be fine. And like literally the chapter title, like first page, chapter 220 is called "I Will Save You." Oh no. I wonder if Sakamoto's going to die. But this I feel weird being so consistently negative about Sakamoto Days. But luckily enough, last chapter was fine enough that I didn't really get triggered. Because, you know, at least Sakamoto got back shots, right? It took the entire group jumping him, and obviously Sakamoto being unable to fight, but hey, at least they actually managed to do serious damage to the main character. However, note that all he has is a hole in his chest. And it'd be like, Pencil Man, he has a hole in his chest. What do you mean that's all he has? We have seen so many characters, including Sakamoto himself in like the last two chapters, heal wounds in his body that are like this size. In fact, it's so bad you don't even see the hole through the back. I know he's wearing an all-black shirt, but like still, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Give him a second. Give it like 3 chapters, if that. Once again, this chapter itself is called "I Will Save You," so I'm betting he's gonna either be saved by the end of the chapter or start next chapter. This is the same guy who couldn't let Shin not be able to move 3 times over in the span of like 5 chapters. Trust me, Sakamoto's fine. Let's see. Slaughter's blade pierces through Sakamoto. Ugh. Interesting, but you know, once again, I do like this drawing. I like this image that Sugi does here of Sakamoto face down on the concrete with nothing, right? Like notably, last chapter, even a bit of the chapter before that, was Sakamoto essentially arguing with Suzuki and being like, dude, you are just like a bad person, gang. Like Rion wouldn't want this, you know Rion wouldn't want this, and that thing inside you isn't Rion, it's your little fantasy that you dream of. And I do like that. Notably, I don't think I give enough praise to chapter 219 for that. I do like that Sakamoto was so heavy-handed and like, dude, you're a bum, you're stupid, you're ugly, and you're fodder. And also, Rion wouldn't want this. I love that he did go down on that principle in particular, because once again, while I don't think Rion is actually too interesting of a character, and I don't think we got enough time to get attached to the character, I think the impact she's had on all the characters, including our titular character and our current main antagonist, is very, very good. And I'm glad to see her legacy live on through these characters. And obviously, literally, quote-unquote, live on in Uzuki, and live on and truthfully in the memory of Sakamoto. But let's see. Suzuki-sensei. Or no, Suzuki-sensei, you're goated. Like, you're making me struggle. But Uzuki, I'm sorry, man. I can't buy the aura farming from you, dog. Like it's still just, it's a little bit beyond your pay grade. You still can't aura farm just yet. You couldn't do anything to Shin. And you couldn't take down a man who couldn't even fight back without using an amp state. Or at least a partially amp state. Using Rion's, like, family vision. Like, come on out, dog. Really? Let's see. Ah, finally! That fiend's dead! Kuminomi. Because of that commenter, I'm gonna write down their name for the next review. I feel bad every time I just say the commenter, because I know who it is. They've been consistently commenting, and I appreciate every single one of their comments. Because of their comments, I've been trying to give you your glaze, Kuminomi. I really have. But you're making it real hard if you don't realize that man is not dead. Let's see. Even Oki's like, nah, he living. Oki's like, I know whose name is on the manga, bro. He's fine. Let's see. Not yet. He's unpredictable. I need to cut off his head. Oh. You do, huh? I wonder how well that's gonna succeed. Uzuki will definitely succeed in decapitating Sakamoto, right? Right? Like, that's definitely it. But you know what? One thing I do like here, he is still base Zuki, but he goes to wield Takamura's weapon. He doesn't pull out the chain blade. He very specifically still goes for the katana, which I do like. I honestly, if I had to be real, I would like it if Uzuki's final power-up was, and in fact he kind of does the last chapter too, because it's implied that he doesn't like let Rion quote-unquote take over last chapter when he used the killing path. I like the idea that he just blends the strengths of the other personalities into his base state, so that Uzuki himself is always the constant character without having to be quote-unquote taken over by his ideological or his imaginary versions of the people he's copied, right? Because the big issue that I have with the multi-personality thing is that it feels like Uzuki himself isn't a threat. He barely does anything with his base stats and always needs to go into Rion or Takamura to do anything at all relevant. But if he starts using their abilities and their stats and their skills while still being himself, maybe, just maybe, we can restore a teeny tiny bit of his aura. Insane amounts of his aura, highly unlikely, but at least a little bit of it. Let's see. What's happening? Why is my throat doing this? Hold on. Hold on. I don't know, something like, oh, but I showered though. I don't know why. I feel like pollen is getting in me. I am allergic to pollen, for fact, but like, and the back of my throat is itching. Let's see. I need to cut off his head. Yeah, Uzuki. Okay, let's see you fail at this. Oh, wow. Sakamoto's having all these... But, you know what? This will be a question. I'm going to still stay, like, the real, true 100%. I kind of don't really care because I know nothing's going to happen because it's Sakamoto days where nothing happens. But, question for y'all. Do you mind me being overly honest and pessimistic? Do you want me to, like, turn the brain off a little bit? Right? And like try to invest myself in the narrative even if I know if nothing's gonna happen. Cause I'm like, part of me, I do want to stay true, but I feel like I don't really like being negative so consistently, especially about a series I like really love. Like, I love Sakamoto Days, so being so negative about it recently is actually like it's not healthy for you, boy. I don't like being negative, but man, like at the same time I don't really want to like fake positivity or fake investment either. I think forget the question. I'm still gonna be real with y'all. While it is nice to see Sakamoto reflect on and share, that is one of the weirdest looking Lu panels I have ever seen. I know you don't draw her all too often, Suzuki-sensei, because you won't allow her to do anything relevant, but this looks horrific. Where is her nose? But with it being the case, I just gotta be real with y'all, man. Like, but the only issue is, right, I think even if I'm not faking it, I'm gonna have to like gaslight myself into just appreciating the narrative as it is. Because once again, I think we're a little bit too deep into the nothing matters and nothing ever happens for something to ever matter and for something to happen, right? Like, I'm not expecting the Alchemar kids to suddenly get another dub over a major character. I'm not really expecting Sakamoto or Shin or Heisuke or even Kandaka and Boiled at this point to take any serious damage that will actually mean something after the chapter it occurs in. I'm not really expecting anyone to die, maybe, even on the antagonist side, just because it feels like the story has lost that kind of weight. It's so heavily nerfed itself in comparison to like mid-series to even like once again like 50 chapters ago. I'd say the series was still cooking drastically. Like the death of Satoda Sensei all the way back then when I was initially first reviewing, that is still a crazy thing that happened. I really wasn't expecting that to happen. Like, there's so much good in Sakamoto Days that looking at the current narrative, it's like, you know exactly what it's like. And this is literally so funny because before I started recording, I was listening to Regular Pat and Kiwi's KH bad quotes tier list, just because I love that video and I love listening to it over and over again. I've referenced it a bunch of times. But with it being the case, in that they talk about Axel or Lee. The meaning is the same. And they talk about how Lee kind of peaked in Calm. He was good in 2, but by like Dream dropping onward, he's kind of just been there because he kind of has to be because he's so popular and everyone loves him. But like, he's been there for so long and he's so far from his original purpose that like you recognize the character. He sounds mostly the same because he still has the same Quentin Flynn voice actor, but he just reads as so much more hollow. That's kind of how I feel about Sakamoto Days right now. like I know early Sakamoto Days to mid Sakamoto Days, that was like Chain of Memories Axel, dog. Straight peak, fire, hitting. Then like we have 50 chapters ago Sakamoto Days, where like things may have been calming down a little bit, but still it felt like there were stakes, there were things that could happen. I really felt like there was real danger present in the narrative on both sides, and I could actually respect the threat that the villain cast posed. And then there's Dream Drop and KH3 Axel or Lee. And now there's current Sakamoto Days, where it's still here. It's still got aura. But man, does it feel hollow. Let's see. He remembers Shin, Lu, Heisuke, Nagumo, and Rion. Man, but I do wonder though, what is Nagumo doing right now? Like, I mean, I presume he's probably with Yotsumura, because we know Yotsumura is the only character not with our current group of Shin, Heisuke, Boiled, and Kandaka. Yotsumura's off doing his own thing, so presumably he's either that's where Nagumo is, or he's somewhere else taking care of something else. But considering the whole villain cast is here, I do wonder what he's actually doing. Let's see. And he does remember his wife. I think this is the first time we've seen Hana in a minute in the manga, but he remembers his wife and daughter, and I do love that, man. Like, even with how much I've like sort of mentally detached myself from the Sakamoto Days manga in terms of investment, because I feel like nothing will ever happen, I still do love that Sakamoto is a family man. Like, as a person who loves his family deeply and dearly, I can respect the deep love and connection he has to his family. That always hits for your boy. And any story that deals remotely with themes or even just like the appearance of family, it tickles my heart. But clearly he's still conscious and alive here, despite having a sword through his chest, or having a sword through his chest. But let's see. Oh no, the sword's getting real close. Oh, this is perfect that Shin did this, because this does remind me of something. I remember it was not last chapter, I think. It was a chapter before last. It was chapter 218. I was confused on why Taurus was immune to Shin's ability. And apparently, it is because Taurus had the ability used on him. But then I also was confused on why Tanabata was affected, because I thought it wasn't used on him. But then mid-review, I gaslit myself into thinking, oh, maybe I'm just remembering that wrong, because I have remembered many things wrong about Sakamoto Days. But no, Suzuki-sensei just forgot. Shin did use his one command on Tanabata already. It was back when he was holding Atari, and he specifically told Tanabata to like drop her or something like that. I forget the full context, but he had used it on Tanabata before, but Suzuki-sensei forgot. And another thing that's weird here, well, then again, you could go with the idea that maybe this is, there are two explanations for Shin being able to use stop and actually freezing Uzuki here. One, you could argue that the initial command to attack X never actually triggered for Uzukimura. It is entirely possible that just never ended up being the case, because we didn't see him attack himself, which we know still should be a parameter that he could do. So maybe that was ignored there. So that's probably the main one. The other thing is, it goes with the common idea that Shin has 3 uses of his mental commands on all the versions of Uzukimura, because they're all technically different people. But Oh wow, look at that. Shin, the same character who was blowing his brains out not 5 minutes ago and was talking about how tired and fatigued he was, manages to pull out another mental command on the strongest in the verse. Wow, would you look at that? Almost as if nothing can happen. Let's see. Huh? Let's see. Hey, my glorious, juicy, legendary, handsome, long-haired, bearded king. Big Daddy Kandaka, bro. I'm sorry, I love Kandaka so much. But then again, I'm not sure how much of my love for Kandaka is just like my love for the speedster archetype taking physical form. Because, I'll admit, your boy's more than a teeny tiny bit biased. You want to make me really like your character, make them fast. So Kandaka, he may just have a bit of that going for him, but I also think Kandaka's just like a generally good character. And I do hope he gets like more. But then again, I understand why he can't get too much more, because he is older, and obviously we can't have him like stealing the show, despite him presumably still being the fastest character in the verse. But bada bing, bada boom, Kandaka saves Sakamoto. All right. And interesting, Shin used, at least from a decently long range, he used his mental command. Let's see. Uzuki? Oh, that's right. I guess Kandaka didn't really know. He didn't really have any information about that. And this is his first time actually seeing Uzuki in person after the incident from their high school days. Let's see. So you're back, Shin-kun. But I'm afraid you're a little too late. Uzuki, I'd like to believe that, gang. I really would. But it seems like, unlike Oki, you don't realize whose name is on the manga, broski. I'm sorry. Until you realize that, you will be stuck in a foolish, delusional dream. But let's see. But I'm afraid you're a little too late. I'll admit though, he does look pretty cooked, but he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Darn it! Oh, okay, Oki. You now want to attack a super fatigued man who's looking over the body of a possible dying man? Okay, Oki. But once again, man, I gotta stop saying once again. Furthermore, Oki, I don't want to say he's kind of been a disappointment, and I'm not sure how much of this is Scruple gaslighting me. I don't think it's any of it though, because Scruple just made good points in his Oki fraud video. Oki just doesn't really have anything that feels substantial for him to be the leader of the order, right? Like, Taurus has stomping Slimamoto time after time after time after time again. That's feats, that's aura. But Oki, man, like, he just doesn't really have it. And considering he was the person to introduce us to Taurus, you would think he'd have, like, the most aura out of the order that we got to see. But no, he's so bummish. And let me guess, this attack is going to somehow fail for one reason or another. Either Kandaka's just going to blitz them away, or someone else is going to attack. Maybe, like, Boiled is going to tackle him, or Heisuke's going to shoot him. We'll see. But, you know, I do like that Shin, even if I can't fully buy the narrative, Shin immediately buys the narrative, is like, oh, my word, Mr. Sakamoto is literally dying in front of me. Let's see. Yo, what? What is it with these order tier fighters, or slightly below order tier fighters in the case of the Elcom arcades, all getting diffed viciously by cars? Kandaka is goated, but Oki, my man, you know, admittedly, I'll give him this. He does pretty much immediately recover. He doesn't even, like, sprawl a little bit. But how are you like, these characters who can blitz bullets, how are y'all getting hit by, like, minivans, dog? Like, how does this keep happening? First it was Sakamoto one-tapping Gozu last chapter. Now it's Heisuke and Boyle literally diffing Oki with a car, man. What on earth, dog? What on earth? Let's see. Ugh. Is Toro okay? Let's get out of here now! Oh, wow. Well, look at that. They're going to escape the entire villain cast when they're all heavily fatigued and damaged. Although, obviously, the damage faded in between chapters because these characters all have healing factors. Let's see. Oh, who's that? I mean, oh, that may be Kandaka leaping with Sakamoto's body. Or it's my juicy, glorious, legendary, handsome, scrumbly Empress King Gozu. Okay. He's not going to do anything, though. Gozu, I swear, if you do not no-sell this punch, bro. First things first, you didn't dodge it. That actually kind of hurts my soul. But if you don't no-sell this punch, my broski, this is Boiled, dog. I love Boiled, but Gozu, man, you have been, outside of aura and the fit and the abilities, you have been struggling to do anything of note or anything of relevance, my G. Please tell me you were able to do more than just get one shot by Boiled. Let's see. Like heck, I'm letting you get away. Take the wheel. You're in our way. Boom. Man, he's punching straight through the glass. That is pretty mellowable. That is, dare I say, pretty hard Boiled to just punch straight through the glass and nail Gozu directly in the face. But let's see. Did Gozu actually... Okay, I'm going to scroll one page further ahead. Yo. Okay. Now this... Whoa. This is going to hurt me to say. This is gonna come from a place so deep and improper in my core, you may think, Pencilman, have you lost it? No, I haven't lost it. Sakamotodays has lost the plot. Tell me why. And it's not, like, once again, it's hard to imply, or it's hard to interpret. I don't think it's really shown that Boiled got stronger over the series run. Like he just didn't. He was spending a bunch of time in prison, kind of doing his own thing. But he wasn't getting any amps, as far as we know. The same guy who literally got grabbed, strummed, and one shot by Tanabata, by the way. Gozu actually gets one-tapped by him. Through glass. So some of the force was lost on breaking through the glass. But Gozu gets genuinely one-tapped by Boiled. First he gets one-tap, one-shot by a car from Sakamoto. Then he gets one-tap by Boiled. He's a fraud. Like he just may genuinely be the fattest fraud of all. And in fact, it's even crazier because he lands, sparks up his electricity, and can't even... And it looks like since I forgot to color this. Well, actually, maybe the lighting. But he literally lands, sparks up, and before he can launch literal lightning, Boiled blitzes and one-taps him. I'm supposed to take this guy seriously. Like, the way we built up to Gozu, because I think he's the last one, right? Like, he is the last Alchemist. I think it was Tenkyu and Gozu who were implied way back earlier on in the narrative, and we still know where Tenkyu is. He may still not be allowed back into the order, who knows? But regardless, we don't know where Tenkyu is, and Gozu was like our final hope for a competent Alchemist, and so far, outside of his one very situational dub against a fatigued Shishiba, where he fumbled the bag by awakening and resuscitating Osoragi. Oh, well, he also beat Kamihite, too. But once again, that was a presumably fatigued Kamihite. I don't know, Gozu, you're just buns. Like genuine hot cross buns, bro. One tap by Boiled? But, I mean, like, and notably, this isn't even one of the cases where I can say Boiled upscale, because Gozu doesn't upscale anything. He's just genuinely butt, bro. Like, why is he so trash? We'll see. And, like, note how Gozu, at first I saw this and I thought, oh, maybe Gozu stopped the car. He focused on firing the electricity in there to make sure the car couldn't move. No, it was Kumanomi. So Gozu, and like he's gone. Like he literally gets hit and then falls off. Oh, actually no, we're looking at the back of the truck now. So maybe he's still there up front. Maybe there's still hope for Gozu, but right now it's looking like he legit got one tap by Boiled. A beginning of series character who was fodder to many times weaker Slimamoto. And that was just a regular punch, too. Boiled doesn't even have his explosive punches. Just a regular punch from Boiled was able to one-shot Gozu. And I'm supposed to take this man seriously? I'm supposed to take the villain cast seriously? Like, once again, Suzuki-sensei, why? What, like, why? What, like... I just don't get it, man. Like, I really... Like, this is genuinely a case of writing where no matter how many different angles I look at it from, I don't think how Suzuki-sensei thinks he's telling a good story, right? Like, notably, there are some times where I'll look at a narrative and I'll disagree with a writing choice, but I'll be like, okay, I can wrap my head around why they would go that way, though. I get why they would go down that path. For Suzuki-sensei, for the past couple weeks, it's really just been like, what is he cooking? And why is the kitchen burning down? Not because he's cooking absolute flames, but he's cooking absolute garbage. Like I don't get the writing choice to make your villain group seem so inadequate, so worthless, so fodder that they're able to get one tap by characters like Boiled. Like, what? What can't do any serious damage to a deuteragonist when they're all fully jumping him? What? We saw Kumanomi get her abilities used against her in last chapter and see Gozu do basically nothing either the last chapter or the chapter beforehand. Like, genuinely, why? What do you, like, Suzuki-sensei, what, do you get your sick kicks out of this? Making the main villain group, the New Order, look like bombs? Really? Let's see. Huh? The car's not moving. Yep, so Kumanomi uses the magnetism to grab onto the car. You're all gonna die right here, you fiends! Okay, Kumanomi, if anything, you're the fiend here. Let's see. Oh! Yo, that's just kind of crazy. Heisuke immediately was just like, he just didn't even, like, he was like, I need to boom you right now. We have a man perishing in the back seat. I need to run this fade with you. But, oh, And he does actually tag her too. At least I think so. I think that's her blood. I'm not sure where she gets hit, but it looks like she does get tagged. So Heisuke, man, he built like that. He really built like that. And I can't say Kumanomi downskill. Kumanomi still is the most successful Alchemar kid. But okay. So I can partially excuse it because he's like fine and there's no visible damage on him. But the fact that both Kumanomi and Gozu both failed to remotely apprehend or limit this super tired, super fatigued Sakamoto crew. That's just so embarrassing. Like, why? How am I supposed to take him seriously? And once again, what were... I guess to say once again. Following that, what were Oki... And, well, then again, Oki was hit by a car. So everyone just seems to be car level now. But what were Taurus and Tanabata doing? Just standing there? Menacingly? Like, why couldn't they block any exit? Like, I genuinely don't... I just don't get, well, like, why you would do this to your villain cast. This would be like if the Akatsuki were introduced in late part 2 and they were all bums, right? Like, don't get me wrong, you can have your organization that has like a bum here or there. Like, almost every organization has a bum or two. Almost a straight peak as an organization. But for the whole organization, formed of the strongest assassins of the modern day, is so cheeks they can't stop a tired old man, another tired old man, a tired young man, and a guy who supposedly couldn't move 5 times over at this point. It's just like really, really rough. It's genuinely insane. Let's see. They're catching up. Give me the wheel. Oh, okay, Shin, driving them off a bridge. Interesting tactic. Let's see. Are they Tokyo drifting off the top of a train? I guess so. Okay, let's see. Darn it. Whew, that was way too close. Well, that was way too close. Hey, we're heading into a tunnel. Oh, okay, so they probably gonna like abandon the car because the train is gonna get the car knocked off of the top of it. But yeah. Kumanomi and Gozu are both bums. That is kind of crazy. Interesting, like we know Kumanomi can leap down from high heights with basically no problem. We see that in her introduction fight against Yo. So like she should easily be able to leap down on this train and hop right on it, dog. Or like at least try to short circuit or something. But no. What a shame. Like it is. It's just generally rough, man. Like I don't know Suzuki Sensei's cooking, and not in a good way. Let's see. Heading into the tunnel. Yep, top of the car gets destroyed. And they managed to get their way into the train. Alright, that's fine. Whew, so close. That was hard-boiled. Yes, it was boiled. Yes, it was hard-boiled. Like, my tears about to be hard-boiled. Oh, let's see. Sakamoto-san. He's like, buddy. I know his name is on the manga and all, but he may actually be cooked. Let's see. But he's not cooked. He's gonna be fine. Let's see. Sakamoto. Okay, actually, maybe everyone's reacting like he's cooked. Heisuke's closed both of his eyes. Boiled has one eye visible. Kandaka's looking on with a concerned glance. Let's see. Hey, Shin! Heisuke, press down on the wound, now! Stop the bleeding? Okay, that makes sense. While he's trying to perform CPR. Let's see. But Taro has his name on the manga, so he'll be fine. Let's see. Do it! Enough. Let him die with dignity. Aww. Well, I mean, like, I shouldn't be awed at that, but I do like that Kandaka wants Sakamoto to have, like, some degree of self-respect as he goes out. He doesn't want Sakamoto to have, like, a lackluster way where people are just desperate to save him. He should go out on his own terms. But at the same time, Sakamoto, man, you reminded me of a certain other main character of a series I really, really like, but hasn't dropped off in quality so far, despite being nearly as long as you. And its main character that I really rock with here. The idea of... My brain completely glitched. What was I even talking about? I was talking about another main character. Enough, let him die with dignity. Get your hands off me. Oh, well, no, I just like the idea that Kandaka like respects like a warrior's death, and very specifically he's like, hey, I get it, bro. Oh no, that's what I meant to say. Sakamoto gave up his life because he couldn't fight, and he thinks he's worthless now, and he could only do this to protect his family. But ultimately, like another very similar situation where a character just straight up abandons the main cast for a while. It is a case where like everything could have. This is why I don't record when EP, bro. What am I saying? What am I saying? What am I saying? What am I saying? What? Enough, let him die with dignity. I can't remember. It had something to do with another manga and character. Oh, there we go. Well, okay, I'm just gonna say it. I've been trying to dance around it. Fortnite to the Apocalypse has a time skip. Bada bing, bada boom. There's a thing that the main character does that they do for the sake of protecting their friends and family, ultimately only to, like, put their friends and family more in danger. Sakamoto's doing the exact same thing here. By deciding to just give up his life, he's essentially allowing free reign to happen to everyone he cares about. From Shin, from Lu, from Ao, from Hana. Like, the best thing he could do to protect them is be alive there to protect them. So him actually just throwing his life away, really, really dumb stupid. I know, but he sacrificed it for Shin. He could have just grabbed Shin and ran. He did not have to lock himself into a desperate battle when he knows he himself could not fight. Genuinely a stupid move, and pretty selfish in a way, which I think, just like the choice from Fortnite to the Apocalypse, is like good, interesting character writing, and I can't wait to see how it's addressed, because once again, since they can't do good character writing when they feel like it. Let's see. Get your hands off me! Even Sakamoto has accepted this fate. No matter how good an assassin is, death always sneaks up out of nowhere. That's the burden we carry. But notably, no. This wasn't death sneaking out of nowhere. This was Sakamoto just giving up, which feels really weird. Like, I'm thinking about it, and I kind of don't like it. Like, in the grand scheme of things. Like, I'm thinking of the character from Fortnite that did this. And, like, they technically did have a real good reason. But Sakamoto, you have, like, a wife and daughter that you supposedly deeply care about. But you're just gonna leave them to die after you die. Like that is actually kind of crazy that he would go for that. You would think he'd go down fighting at least a little bit, especially for the sake of his family. But nope, looks like that that possible loss of his family did way too much damage to his mental. Let's see. So I do agree. I do disagree with Kandaka. I don't think this is death thinking out of nowhere. I think it's Sakamoto walking directly into death, as he says himself. So it is like Sakamoto kind of just being a weirdo and humble in the bag. Let's see. Shut up! I know that already. But even so, even if I'm meant to die one day, I don't want to die this way. Aw. I do like that. Once again, there are different, not like different levels to death, if it's all that sounds weird, but there are many different ways to die. Like the whole, I go back to like Norse mythology all the time. The idea of dying with a weapon in your hand in battle versus not dying with a weapon. One of the biggest, like, at least in some like stories and stuff like that, the biggest respect you can give to somebody on a battlefield if you see they're without their weapon is to put a weapon in their hand as they fade. Because then they are guaranteed entrance into Valhalla and some interpretations of Norse mythology. So, Shin has his own views on how he wants to die, even if, well, not even if, because he knows it's just inevitable that he will die one day. But he doesn't want himself or Sakamoto to go out like this. He believes there is no such thing as a dignity in a death like this. And I do respect that. Once again, Shin, as much as I don't like his thick, hefty, juicy, literally world-consuming plot armor, I actually do. I've come to appreciate him as a character a whole lot more. So for all the Shin fans out there, I'm starting to see your boy better, and I'm starting to appreciate him more. But I still think he's just a little too strong, a little too fast, man. Like I may have to just make up my thoughts video about Shin's power growth. Let's see. Shin, please. I still haven't caught up to you yet. You've actually surpassed him. Like, unironically, hold on, let me take a sip. But, like, Shin, you actually have unironically surpassed him. Like, on literally almost every single front, like, you've genuinely surpassed Sakamoto. At least as far as we know him. Having any ability to tank towards his attacks already puts you above Sakamoto. Having the reaction speed you do, put you above Sakamoto. Having the abilities you do, put you above Sakamoto. The only thing you could argue is AP, but even then, I feel like Shin probably has that too. Because he did crazy numbers to tank you. So overall, Shin, I wouldn't say you still haven't caught up yet, and you're still nowhere near his level. I think you've surpassed Sakamoto, broski. But then again, that may also be like a Shin character flaw where he believes that even if everyone else witnessing it would be like, buddy, no, you lost to surpass that man. Actually, that may be the poll. That may be the poll for this chapter. Do you think Shin has surpassed Sakamoto? Honestly, at this point, I definitely think he has. Like, just because of how the plot armor has functioned, he genuinely has infinitely better feats than Sakamoto. Like, all around. Because Sensei just kind of lost the plot. Let's see. So why are you dying before me? Aw. He's like, man, like, no, please. You're supposed to be my sensei, my main op. I was supposed to surpass you. But you know, I do like that Heisuke, even, not just Kandaka, but Heisuke's being realistic and like, dude, he's gone. Let's see. In the end, I'm always useless when it counts. Funnily enough, literally the exact opposite, Shin. You have in fact been too useful. At basically all times, though. You have been going absolutely bonkers. Let's see. If I can't save Sakamoto-san right now, then what's the point of me even being here? What did I say? Sakamoto, stab through the heart, doesn't matter, Shin's gonna save him. Let's see how Shin manages to pull it off this time. This time, at least. Let's take a look. Huh? With my No. No. With my mind-jacking power, I can override someone's behavior for a brief moment. After the heart stops beating, the brain stays alive for a few more minutes. I only have one He's gonna... You know, what did I expect, bro? Like being honest with like, what did I actually expect? Of course Sakamoto can't die. Of course Shin's gonna be able to magically save him by restarting his heart after the man's heart has already stopped beating. Of course, because, you know, this is just how it works, man. This is how it works. Nothing ever happens, Days. And nothing ever happens, Days. Let's see. I can override someone's behavior for a brief moment. After the heart stops beating, the brain stays alive for a few more minutes. I have only one chance. I swear I'll save you, Sakamoto-san. Wait, Shin, what are you... Move, heart! Will Shin's feelings reach him? Chapter 220, and the heart, he'll be fine. Once again, it's going to start beating and he'll come back. Probably better than ever. Because of course he will. Because nothing ever happens. Because nothing ever matters. Because nothing is serious. Like, ugh. Man. But you know what? Man, I really don't like Gozu getting one-tapped and Kumanomi being absolutely worthless and getting literally one shot. As if she was hit with one shot. But, you know what? Simply because Sakamoto did stay down. But then again, now that I think about it, now that I've really been thinking about the Sakamoto choice, unlike the other choice I'm thinking of from Four Nights, I feel like it really doesn't match the character, and it's kind of like a weird way to write him out of the narrative for like 5 seconds. Like, I don't know. It does feel like a really weird choice. Do I get, but like, what am I really deeming worthy in this chapter? Like, the Kandaka interactions and then like, but I don't want to not... I'm gonna be real. Even through the eepiness, even through all this, I'm thinking on it, and like, I don't think there's anything in this chapter that makes you want to declare it worthy. Like, Shin's determination is fine and cool and all, but not only do I think he's kind of wrong in terms of not surpassing Sakamoto, but like, I think Gozu and Kumanomi get done way too dirty. I think Oki gets done way too... Once again, everyone's getting card diffed and then just like disappearing and not being relevant for the rest of the chapter. Then, of course, there's no Taurus or Tanabata here, even though we know they should be here. And once again, he's never being the allegations. Like, the idea that nothing ever happens, nothing permanent ever happens. Sakamoto doesn't get decapitated. He doesn't take any serious lethal damage. And I know his heart is literally pierced, but he's gonna be fine. Like, that's the thing. For us to not even entertain the idea that anything's ever going to happen, not even 3 pages in, or no, 4 pages in, and Shin comes in and clutches up because he can move and still use his psychic abilities despite being super mentally fatigued and all the physical fatigue he has, all that, regardless, it rings so hollow. And I can't, and once again, I can't praise a hollow narrative, man. And what little character work there is just doesn't outweigh everything else I don't like about the chapter. So yeah, I'm not going to say the chapter's worthy. I'm really hoping Sakamoto gets back on it. I'm really hoping Sugi Sensei, like, I'm not sure, does Sugi Sensei has to have an editor, right? Like, I hope an editor is like, dude, you've lost it. Like we need to actually like lock in and take things seriously again, because this doesn't, Sakamoto just hasn't really been hitting like it used to. The art is still fantastic. In fact, I'd say the art is getting better. The choreography is still fantastic, but like, from the character work with Sakamoto here, which I really don't like when I think about it, and obviously all the unbelievably thick, juicy, ripe, and scrumbly up plot armor, I just can't lean and rock with Sakamoto Days like I once did, and that hurts me more than you know. But of course, if you made it all the way to this video, please leave heart to heart, because, you know, Shin's, well, I guess I could say like mind to heart, but just heart to heart sounds better. So leave heart to heart in the comment section down below. I did thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that notifications post you know myself on any music on the channel. Also, you can have a Patreon below, or use me for as well as one things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. Also, now become a member of the channel for as well as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So those perks include live reactions, here are the series I have to review, ad variations of all my videos, and if you become a $25 Patreon or a $25 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also the link to my Ko-Fi in the description down below. You can drop 5 minutes to a short video, 29 beans long video, or any beans at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is that guy with the pencil, writing off. I would like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Red Wolf 4765, Astro, Super Flame Zero, Glacier, XZ, Zera, Brendan Payne, J2MA, Guillaume, Buddha Uda, Alex Kenny, Yuki Ally, Enzo, Nevis 97, Zachary Wilson, Azo 2404, Planet Crone, Rye Rich, G Prosper, Swift Strike, Alexicon, Striker Man, and Autumn Mornings Lazo. Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our line art patrons: Sean, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin, Encarnacion, Dread Zoan, and A+A. Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our Ink tier members: Austin Wimberly, Euchia, and Shrimpo the Shrimp. Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our digital art tier members: J Warrior and AZ Void. And I'd like to give a thank you to our colored art tier patrons: Waki Munoz and Waki Munoz. And a final thank you to our ultimate, that guy with a pencil tier patron, Calvin's wife. Not Calvin Elder, who ultimately does have one of my kidneys, but now I must know, and I must undergo the process of getting the second one removed, so I can send the other over to this wonderful family.